Good morning, reptile lovers. All right, today is going to be a little bit of a gritty episode because we're going to talk about pretty much the biggest mistake you can make at a reptile expo. So we all know the basics. Bring cash. You can make offers, but you don't want to offend the breeder. These are animals that they put a lot of time and work and care and hopefully pride into. So you don't want to offend them. Definitely don't sleep on something. If you see something you want, you should grab it right away because it's going to be gone soon. Things just don't last at the expos, especially when it's the thing you want, because it's probably the thing somebody else is looking for too. So we all know the basics. Now here, don't eat me. Here is the biggest mistake, in my opinion, that you can make, and I did make that exact mistake this year. Don't buy from the biggest table at the place. You go there to see the breeders and their snakes and their animals and get that kind of quality, that small business quality. I wasn't going to name any names, but this company is three times in the past 2 weeks kind of stuck it to me. So I may not say their name. I'm better than that. Kano, on the other hand, he'll probably let it slip.
Underground.
So anyway, here's how the perfect storm that worked up to it. My son last year got a crested gecko there, and it probably wasn't the best match for him. But you know how kids are at expos. They see something and they want it and they lose interest. So I have that gecko over here, and he's great, and he's making me little baby geckos, and there's no worries, no complaints there. But my son didn't get the enjoyment out of them. He's probably only held them 4 times in that year. So he had $100 to spend, and he was eyeballing blue-tongued skinks. And I'm thinking, okay, that's actually probably a good match for him. Bigger, lazier. He can kind of just sit it down on his lap, and until it poops on him, there's not going to be a problem. And so I let him go around, and the only table that had blue-tongued skinks for $100 was this one table. Now he went and he looked, and I checked him out with him. I said, that's what you want to do, go for it. But he didn't want to carry it around for the show. So he ended up going back by himself towards the end of the show to grab the lizard. He didn't grab the same lizard that we were looking at before. There was only one left. Some poor you-know-what grabbed the entire rest of the tank right while he was there, so he basically got the last one. And now my issue with this is that lizard, when I got home and got to take a look at it, hip bones sticking way out, definitely underweight, and it had a respiratory infection. I thought I heard him make a noise. For me, it wasn't a big deal. One lizard. I actually had antibiotics, just enough for a 2 weeks regimen. Perfect for that lizard on hand, so I didn't have to go anywhere. I just started him right on it. And we've just been fattening him up, and I'm hoping that it's not MBD, metabolic bone disease, and he's just underweight, and that's why I'm seeing those big old hips sticking out. Because he definitely, we've already put a ton of weight on him. He looks a lot better. Now, all right, so I've been keeping reptiles for just over 30 years now. I should have been there with my son. I should have seen the lizard, and then I would have seen the hips and possibly even noticed the respiratory infection, because once I got him home, you'll see I picked up on it right away. So big mistake on my part, I should have just gave him an extra $50, $75. He could have gone to a small breeder and picked up a nice healthy animal from them. The only reason I didn't do that is because everything here is, I struggle to keep this room cool, so there's no heat lamps in here. I don't have any heat lamps. The skink was going to need one, so I knew I was going to be on the hook for some substrate, a fixture, a lamp, at very least. And I'd already spent way too much money that weekend. Now I regret it now. I think I should have did it, and that's why I'm telling you. So hopefully parents, just give your kid the extra $50 so he can go to a small breeder's table. Don't let him go alone, especially if you have knowledge of reptiles. And the reason this makes me so mad is because when I was like 9 or 10 years old, there was no internet. You're going on the information given to you. You think you're going on the information given to you by the guy at the pet store. So I wanted to try and breed leopard geckos, and the guy at the pet store, you know, typical reptile pyramid scheme. Yeah, I'll buy the babies off you. Except back then, without there being internet, he had probably zero risk, because the likelihood of me being successful at that was very low. And nowadays, with the internet, YouTube, just about anybody could probably successfully breed leopard geckos. And then if he hadn't bought them back from me, if you don't buy them back like you said you were gonna do, they're just gonna show up on Morph Market or in the market and then be your competition. So things are way better now. So anyway, back then, 10 years old, trying to breed leopard geckos. The guy sells me a male and a female. And one look at that female would have told you that there's no way this lizard will ever lay fertile eggs. She's MBD, underweight, and all these things that just me and my mother didn't know in 1994 or whatever. And so, I mean, we had them as pets for a long time, but just the time and the money and the effort that went in to doing that. And this guy, I don't think for one second that he didn't know that I would never be successful, especially with the pair that he had given me. Now, that's kind of what these people are doing to people. My son, he's just a kid. You sold him a sick lizard. You didn't tell him. So yeah, I wasn't there, shame on me, but you know, shame on you. All right, so whatever. I'm not that pissed about it. I wasn't even gonna say anything about it. Like I said, come home, I had the antibiotics on hand, whatever. So then we get home, we go to set up his enclosure, and we bust out the basking bulb that I bought from them, and it doesn't work. All right, so now here's strike two. I contact them, they reply, make it sound like, oh yeah, we'll make it good, we'll just refund it to your credit card. Now I had made 2 purchases from them with that credit card. He says, we can't find a purchase with that number. So I sent him a screenshot of my bank statement where it says subterranean reptiles.
Subterranean? What's that? Something like underground?
And he never gets back to me. So we wait a couple days. I'm like, hey, so where are we at with this? No response. All right. So anyway, that's what's brought us here. So anyway, like I said, it's not a big deal for me. Hopefully this video gives you some insight to avoid people like this. You'll see their table, you know, they'll have cannibalistic reptiles all caged together in such high numbers that, you know, who cares if one gets eaten, there's still 100 more in there. Who would ever notice? So anyway, we've got him home. I do believe we've got the respiratory infection cleared up. I can't hear anything anymore, and it was never so bad that he was gaping or excessive saliva or anything like that. So 2-week regimen of the antibiotics, like I said, just happened to have the perfect amount on hand. Got him by, but parents, if I didn't, that would have been a vet visit and filling a prescription. It would have been $175. Just better, you know, if you're there with your kid and he's short 50, 75 bucks to go to a breeder's table instead of, you know, a big farm operation. And I'm not saying that against outside breeders, I'm talking farm in numbers, you know. It's not what you go to an expo for. Luckily, Spyro, we've got the respiratory infection fixed. He's putting on a lot of weight. His hip bones are not as prominent. Again, I'm hoping it's not MBD, but we got him vitamins, and we'll go ahead. And he's not going to be a breeder. He's just here for a pet, and he's doing a great job at that. My son is interacting with him every day, much more interested in him and a better fit for what he was looking for. I just wish, my biggest regret was I just wish I had brought him to a different table. All right, guys, that's going to do it for my rant. I do want to be clear that I am talking about one very specific person. I'm not telling you to avoid all large tables at an expo. Just for example, SoFlo Reptiles, a buddy of mine, Ethan, runs that. Like 8 of the snakes in this room came from him over the past few years. He has a huge table. So we are talking about underground reptiles specifically. I would avoid them if I was you. It's one thing to maybe accidentally sell an unhealthy animal. It's another thing to accidentally sell a broken bulb. They're fragile. Those things happen. What's unexcusable is ghosting your clients, ghosting your customers. I own 4 businesses, and that would never happen on any of them. So one thing I do recommend is that if you ever get a chance to buy a baby Crebo and you spend a lot of time with it, it will make an awesome pet. Just such a cool snake, and you think, oh, they're so active, you really can't, sit around with them. I've got her used to me holding on to her tail. So I'll just sit in my recliner and I'll hold on to the end of her tail, and it's like having a living leash. She goes, across one armrest to the other armrest, and isn't she gorgeous? She's coming into a shed, and these things shed so much. They grow so fast. But her tail is a gorgeous black. Are you too pretty for Kratos? Are you too good for him? Huh? No, he's a good boy. All right. So anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today. Hopefully you learned something. Probably not the usual stuff, but still important things to know when you are keeping reptiles. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. See you. Respiratory infection seems to be all cleared up. He's panting right now because I'm scaring him. It's okay, bud. No. Another benefit to a bath, I suppose. That's nasty. Like I said, we've been feeding him real good. Oh my god, that stinks. Ooh, D. Oh. I'd say that water's contaminated and it's time to take you out of there. My handsome. You feel better? See, oh yeah, look at that, right off. Nice. Alright.